Are we live? We are live.
We are live.
All right. Welcome to Crypto's Corner. I'm your host, Krypto Man. Please like and share. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button to join the Redneck tribe. With me is Humble Among, and we're going to do our top 5 childhood cartoons. Humble Among,
What up?
let people know who you are, anything you got out, like that new mixtape, and all that.
I'm Humble Among. That's my rap moniker. You can call me Mr. Among. A lot of people call me Humble, but I don't like that because I'm not so humble. Don't call me Humble. Call me Mr. Among. I like it. It's much more formal. So he mentioned a mixtape that I dropped called Valentine Tape, based around Valentine's Day and love songs and all that good jazz. I kind of make like holiday themed projects. You know, I do my Halloween tape. I got the Xmas tape. So I've been trying to drop projects pretty regularly. I've been doing them about every 2 months since let's see, what was that? Last August, I dropped Fear of a Whack Planet. Then I did Halloween tape 2. Then we did Christmas tape.
Yeah.
Halloween tape 3, Christmas tape 2.
Damn.
And then we did Valentine tape just over the weekend.
And wasn't Ouija Mac on was it Halloween tape or?
Yeah, I got a hold of Ouija and got him on a track for a Halloween tape 3 called Bleed, produced by Devereaux, who is the shit, produces a lot of music for Ouija. I've been working with Devereaux a little bit as well. He's the fucking shit. He's on the new ICP that just dropped today. Devereaux's fucking killing it, man. Very proud to be working with an artist like that. It's like, you know, because that's the shit I fuck with. So it's like,
for sure,
it's really dope to be working with a guy I fuck with that heavy, you know. And shouts out to Ouija, who, you know, just straight up killed it all last year. To me, it was Ouija's year last year, so that fucker killed it.
He's going heavy.
Yeah, man, he's going hard. He's got a new fucking project coming Friday. He got a project with Baby E, who I'm not that familiar with. But shouts out to Ouija, still killing it.
He's protege of Lil Wayne.
Oh, is he?
I think so. I think that's what I heard.
Oh shit! I had no fucking idea. Holy shit! Yeah, that's a big deal then.
Yeah. So all right. I guess we can either get into the top 5 cartoons that we remember as from our childhood, or we can do some notable mentions and stuff that.
Yeah, I definitely got some honorable mentions because this was hard, man. This was hard narrowing it down. I'll be straight up. I got some spots here that are just very generalized because, like, otherwise, like, yeah, we'll just do some honorable mentions and we'll get into the
for sure.
I have to bunch together some of these motherfuckers because goddamn, this was hard.
Oh, I hear that. I almost contacted you. I was like, maybe we should do a top 10.
I probably could have done a top 10, but I think the way I did it makes more sense this way. I think doing. All right, so let's just do these honorable mentions because I got a couple we can talk about. You go first, my guy.
All right, so for the honorable mentions that I just barely jotted down real quick, I got Space Ghost. Like, the original ones, not like his talk show, Adult Swim type stuff. Because I'm going childhood. The Johnny Quest series. Harvey Birdman.
Now, were you watching all these shits on Cartoon Network, I assume?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I remember. That's where I remember catching them as well, all those. That was some Cartoon Network shit.
I was spoiled. I think it was like around 8 to 10 years old. My parents got like one of those giant ass satellite dishes.
Oh, yeah.
You'd move it incrementally.
Yeah, dude.
And stuff.
My grandmother had one of those shit. Just sit there and watch it move. Just change channels just to watch it move and shit.
Yeah. So, so all that, the Cartoon Network was amazing. Wacky Racers.
Oh yeah, man.
With
That was the shit too. I like
yeah,
Wacky Racers. That was
with
fun.
with all those. It was like all the characters from like Josie and the Pussycats, Jabberjaw.
I don't know who said this. Someone said this on a podcast. I feel like it was a comedian said this on a podcast, but someone was like, Wacky Racers is like the beginning of the whole Avengers thing. Like of like the combining of all the universes into one
Right?
type of thing. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty spot on. That is kind of like
They
the
were
beginning of
ahead of
that
their
shit.
time.
Yeah, definitely.
There was like the Super Friends or something, but it
Right,
was
Super
weird
Friends. Yeah,
because
that's just Justice League.
Yeah, but like Spider-Man's Marvel, but all the rest of them were like
Spider-Man
DC
wasn't in the Super
characters.
Friends. I don't think Spider-Man was in the Super
He
Friends. That was
wasn't?
still no, it was still all DC shit. They made a
Oh,
couple of like weird like this the Wonder Twins
yeah.
was in the Super Friends, but they were never in the comics up until Super Friends. I believe they've folded them in though.
Weird. I could have sworn Spider, but it just never made sense to me because
That was around the same time period that the Spider-Man cartoon was popping off.
yeah,
Because it was like that 60s era animation, because it was like what 66 I think that first dope 60s Spider-Man cartoon was coming out.
right.
I love that cartoon.
Yeah.
Doom sampled so much shit from that cartoon, man. I remember back in the day, I was ahead on that cartoon fucking for a long time, man. And I remember there was a fucking this battle theme, like these horns that happen in that cartoon, and it's like this bum 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 bum. And fucking, I remember I was trying to get Andy back in the day to sample that shit, but then fucking MF Doom went ahead and fucking sampled it before us. So I was like, well, fuck this. We can't fucking sample that shit now. It's fucking Doom did it. But Doom definitely sampled all over those fucking old cartoons, old Marvel shit, man. God damn.
All the old Marvel cartoons, like up until probably like the mid '80s, were like just classic.
I mean, even after that, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into.
Speaking of though, I also had Spider-Man the one where when he's going through the city and it's all like computer animated.
Oh, like, wait a second. That was the MTV joint, right? Was it
no
Fox one then?
Fox, yeah.
It
was the animated series. And
slight spoiler, that's one of my picks and that's my number 4 kind of.
I had to like do some trade-offs because I wanted to put Harvey Birdman in my top 5.
Well, I'll go ahead and spoil kind of what I did with my top 5.
All right.
On number 4, I had to combine Batman, Spider-Man, and X-Men because they were the Fox superhero cartoons that were all kind of coming out around the same time. And I fucked with all 3 of those so heavy. I didn't even, like in South Carolina, I didn't have cable for a long time because we were out in the fucking sticks and poor and shit. And when cable finally came out to our area, the neighborhood, we fucking jumped on the package, and I finally got Fox for the first time. But dude, I can't tell you how fucking precious those cartoons were to me. Those 3 specific ones: Batman, X-Men, and Spider-Man. Those Fox joints. Oh my god, that shit was so dope to me. But yeah, kind of figured might as well talk about that one, seeing as we already hit on it.
And I got X-Men for my number 5 too.
So we're already kind of getting into them.
Yeah. So I mean, it was the X-Men was a trade-off. I'm like, do I want to put X-Men in there or do I want to put the Spider-Man animated series in there? So I feel I wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's where because I'm like, man, my top 5 is just going to be Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men and shit if I don't find this
shit. So yeah, I feel like we were doing the same thing when we were picking. Two other notable mentions that I had was Monster Ranchers and Pirates of the Dark Water.
I remember Pirates of the Dark. What was Monster Ranchers though? I don't remember that one.
Monster Ranchers. It was like there was this. It was basically Digimon or Pokemon, basically.
Okay,
But
around the same era as those
oh
shits.
yeah, yeah. One of the main characters was this giant eyeball. He was green, and he'd like hop around on one limb.
Okay.
And I don't know, it was pretty dope. I definitely watched it more than I watched like Pokemon or something like that.
Yeah, I was definitely into Pokemon, but not like super heavy.
Yeah, I played the game. I didn't really watch the show or anything.
Oh, the show actually is what got me into all the shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was watching the show and fucking kind of low key, like guilty pleasure liking it. Because at that point, I was a little too old. I was like 8th grade.
Exactly.
Watching Pokemon and shit. So it was kind of a guilty pleasure thing. But then Andy, once again, got me hooked on the fucking video game because he had the Game Boy with the fucking red or blue or whichever one it was he had. And that, I mean, after the Game Boy game, I was like, I kind of even got more into the show, really. So I never got into the card game, though. That was always, the card game shit was always too complex for me. I could never keep up with that shit.
My cousin got me into the card game, so we would play like against each other. And as well, he had all Pokemon stuff. He had like, you know, those Gigapets?
Oh, yeah.
He had like a Pokemon
Tamagotchis.
Yeah. He had like a Pokemon version.
Word. And fucking Andy was all about that fucking shit, dude. Shouts out to Andy Beats if you're out there watching, man. Fucking, he was so about that Pokemon shit, man. I remember he even got into like Nintendo Power. Like he fucking like drew a fucking Pikachu drawing and got into Nintendo Power.
Oh, into the magazine and everything?
Yeah, like when they had like the letters there. Yeah, he was in that shit.
I sent a couple letters to Game Informer, but that's awesome that he got into Nintendo Power.
Yeah, man. I remember his mom was very proud of that shit back in the day. But you know, Andy, he's all fucking low key, so he's like, mom had to tell me about it. He didn't even tell me about it.
Oh, didn't want to brag.
No, he's he's more humble than me.
So I just remembered one, but I'm kind of blanking on the name. I think Captain Caveman was in on this whole. It was another.
Okay, I can tell you which one it is. It's Flintstones Kids.
Oh snap! I didn't even think of that.
Captain Caveman was on the Flintstones Kids.
He was
like, yeah, I believe so. I believe he was like how in
bam.
Yeah, he was one of the things that like in Garfield they would have the what do you fucking call it, the farm thing. God damn it. You know what I'm talking about? In Garfield and Friends, they would have the farm animals.
No.
I forget what that shit was called. Oh, something acres. But anyway.
Oh, we're gonna have to do like a follow-up.
Yeah, like after we do our Googling.
It was like humanoids or something like that. Humanoids.
I don't know about that one. That doesn't strike it. I don't know. Captain Caveman was definitely Flintstone Kids, though. I remember that shit. Yeah, that's one of my honorable mentions as well, is Flintstone Kids. And like all those fucking kids ones that they had, because they have Muppet Babies as well. That's another one of my.
Oh, hell yeah.
Anything's possible if you use your imagination.
Dude, I love that show. That show was awesome. That was definitely one I was like, back in the day, I remember waking up and trying to check for Muppet Babies. So like that was like a thing though, because then they did the Flintstones Kids, and I feel like there was some more of those type of shows where like
Scooby Doo.
Yeah, the Scooby one. That's the one I was trying to think of, dog. Damn it. Yeah, that Scooby one was even iller, man. Oh my god, that was dope, man. Oh my, I haven't thought about that cartoon in a second. Yeah, the Scooby one I think I was checking even more than Muppet Babies.
I want to go stream them all now.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, so let me hit a couple of my honorable mentions here. We already covered. We talked about Garfield a little bit there. I fucked with Garfield pretty heavy back in the day. Pee-wee's fucking Playhouse.
Oh
It's
yeah.
also pretty heavy. I was a big fucking Pee Wee Herman mark when I was
Fishburne,
a kid.
the cowboy guy.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, man. Dude,
I saw him at the Red Mill in Wilmington.
Oh, word?
Yeah, he was eating at. They were all. It was him and the Micah or something like that. They were both on the Matrix. But the guy from Lost or The Walking Dead that was also in the Matrix. Can't remember which show. But they were both at the Red Mill, and I was like fanboying out.
What were they doing together? That's some wild shit. Like
they were riding bikes with like a pack of people.
Huh. They must have gotten to be quite the homies on Matrix or something, man.
Right?
That's wild. I was just listening to that ICP, those ICP streams, and they were telling a story behind like the making of some songs, and they were telling the story behind making the song Toy Box from Riddlebox. And they were talking about how that song's just laced with tons of Pee Wee Herman samples, how the record company just wouldn't let them use that shit, so they had to like recreate all of them.
Oh,
and so like if you listen to that song, there's a bunch of like little things that Shaggy is like, little voice parts that Shaggy's doing, and like Shaggy was like, yo, that's just Lawrence Fishburne doing them shits. Like we just had to re-record them. So like there's like Hardy Har Har kids and like shit like that Shaggy.
Oh wow.
That's all like Lawrence Fishburne samples that they had to re-record because the record company wouldn't clear that shit. I thought that was really interesting. I didn't know that. But if you listen to the record now, you're like, oh yeah, he is kind of like just completely redoing something. Like it's kind of obvious that's what he's doing. All right, so we got back to my little list here. We got Muppet Babies we touched on. That was a dope show, man. Muppet Babies was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
They would do the parody shit.
Yeah, with the Star Wars and
they were kind of ahead of their time with some of that parody shit because they did a lot of that. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember watching it quite a bit. There was an MC Hammer cartoon. You remember that shit? They had an MC Hammer cartoon where he got his superpowers from his shoes, and they were talking shoes. I still remember the talking shoes. There's something about that show that's just burned in my memory. I'm never gonna forget. Oh shit. And I'm just remembering now, I don't have Turtles on my list.
Huh.
Fuck.
They're my number one.
Word. I kind of fucked up then. Big shout out to Ninja Turtles. That should be on my list somewhere. Oh fuck, man. That's got me rethinking my whole list. Oh my god, fuck.
Well,
that was like that was my number one when I was a kid, probably.
Yeah, that's definitely my number one. I mean, and they were at the top of my mind because of the song that I just released. Like I mentioned, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Word.
Quite a bit in it. So I already was thinking about them.
Man, I can't believe that. Yeah, I don't even know about my list now, but I'll just big shout out to Turtles though. Turtles probably should be my number one now. But anyway, let me go through the. I got two other honorable mentions I just want to hit real quick, and then we'll do the list here. Ace Ventura, the Ace Ventura cartoon, I remember freaking out for, and also like the Mask cartoon, just like they did like Jim Carrey, and I think there was even a Dumb and Dumber cartoon. Like they were just straight up any Jim Carrey property, they were just turning into a fucking cartoon. I remember liking those though. And this was a little ahead of my time, but I was still watching it anyway. Recess. Recess is a very dope show that I was way too old to be watching. I think I was like a freshman and fucking still watching Recess.
Like the lunch lady or
like there's a little sneaky rat kid that would like
rat on everyone.
Yeah. Fucking had a little notebook and shit. Yeah, that was a good show though. All right, so I'm ready to start the top five, but fucking I screwed up now, not mentioning Turtles. I might have to pull some shit here.
It's all good. Well, they're at least on a list.
Yeah.
So my number 5 is X-Men. We already touched on that a bit. So I guess you can go into yours.
Best theme song maybe to me ever.
Yeah, very memorable theme
Dude,
song.
That to me, that's like the best theme song ever. I love that show because of that. My number 5 is very a generalized thing, but they were on all the fucking time back in the day, and I loved them. Just Looney Tunes in general.
Oh yeah, I watch them all the time. There's one. I didn't put them down for a notable mention or on my list, but I did. I watch those all the time.
Oh, dude, so good. I mean, if you have HBO Max or Plus or whatever they call it, they have a tremendous Looney Tunes library. They don't have everything, but they have a lot of really good old shit on there, full cartoons, really dope. So yeah, definitely shout out Looney Tunes.
All right. So before I go into my number 4, you mentioning Looney Tunes made me think of Popeye. And
dude, yeah,
shout out Popeye for being a notable mention.
I didn't see Popeye on TV very much, but I remember we would like rent Popeye cartoons from like the store or some shit.
My grandparents had like a tape, and it would be the one that I really remember was Popeye and Sinbad the Sailor.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
he'd like be on the island and fight all the crazy mythical creatures and stuff. Turn the giant 2-headed vulture into like a bird roast.
I don't remember the specifics. I definitely remember that one though. I remember there were the boat one that it starts on a boat, right?
Yeah.
And then, I definitely remember that one. And I wonder if we're watching the same tape.
I watched that thing like hundreds of times. You'd like open sesame.
Oh yeah. I do remember that very vaguely in my.
That was great.
Of my mind.
I could. No, I'm not even gonna try. I was gonna say I could almost like redo the Sinbad the Sailor.
Oh, you got the music remembered and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, that's a notable mention. I probably should be on the list, but whatever.
Hey, we're remembering them as we go here.
Exactly. My number 4 is Digimon.
Word. I never got into that shit.
I think I was a little too old for it.
Like the Pokemon and
yeah.
Because Digimon felt like a reaction to Pokemon, but they were like kind of existing in the same time in Japan for
a bit. Yeah. But those were fresh because it kind of seemed like a more adult version of Pokemon. But there was all like the same elements, the evolutions and.
Now, what was the toy component of Digimon? Was that a card game as well, or what was that?
I mean, they had like PlayStation game, and they also had those little Tamagotchi.
That's right, because I remember there being something that was like more of a physical toy that was connected to them.
Because in the show, they had little Digivices, and the Tamagotchis were basically the same thing. They looked like the Digivices they had.
Clever marketing there, cartoon. So my number 4 is basically the we kind of talked about already, Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men.
Yeah.
That's just my shit. Love that shit. And I was those were always the ones that I was trying to catch like the hardest. I mean, I remember there was for a brief period of time, there was an Incredible Hulk one even that was pretty fresh.
Yeah.
But super hard to catch. I remember it was like they were airing it at like 5 a.m. for some weird reason and trying to catch it, waking up super early trying to catch that shit. But yeah, those are all great.
That kind of reminds me of they made video games for all those cartoons, and I tried playing the Hulk on like an emulator.
Oh boy.
Wait, no, it wasn't an emulator. We got a Super Nintendo downstairs, so I was digging through the games and found the Incredible Hulk. That was unplayable.
Oh man, so many of those. There's so many bad video games from back in the day, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's probably part of the reason. Like, I kind of like, I don't know. I was like anti-video games for a good 10 years there. Like, I didn't play video games at all, and I think part of it is like just being so frustrated by them when I was a kid. Like literally breaking controllers because we were forced to play these horrible games.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't even have a choice.
I mean, the Indiana Jones and Donkey Kong, those were hard, but they were playable.
Yeah, beatable.
Yeah. So
I'm talking about shits where you couldn't even get past like the second stage or the second screen and stuff. Like just because it's just almost unplayable. I mean, I had a Batman Game Boy game. I want to say it was a Batman Forever Game Boy game. I could be wrong though, but that shit was so fucking hard. Like, I got past the first screen. It was like you scroll to the next screen and like could not figure out after I defeated the enemies where the fuck to go, what to do. And so it was just like I got this new game and like was like done with it after 5 minutes. Because it's just like I can't fucking figure it. It's before the internet, so you can't look up like the weird thing you got to do to get out of that level.
Yeah, it was a lot of it was like memorization and stuff.
Right, for sure.
Okay, where do you have to be for this guy or whatnot?
Oh, this is going to happen at this point. Remember that, yeah.
Like those the air fighting games where everything's coming at you and you got to dodge everything, and it's all sorts of geometry and
Zelda's a lot like that in ways. You got to remember patterns and stuff.
Yeah, but I dig the RPG elements of that game.
Oh yeah.
I guess we're at number 3.
Yep.
I have Thundercats.
Oh, holy shit.
3.
See, that's another one I have like no knowledge of at all.
Man. My main memory of Thundercats, besides the school nurse would have bed sheets of He-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Thundercats, so that was pretty cool. But my mom walked into the living room when I was watching Thundercats one day, and their voices are so off from the animation, and like the acting's terrible, the voice acting, but at the same time, it's like classic. But she was like, how can you even watch this? Because they'd be like, yes, someone must do something. And it's like, why did you need that long of a pause?
Oh, they're just filling time.
Yeah. But
oh boy. Yeah, I have like, I think I remember. I think I tried to watch that show. Like those kind of shows, like, are a dead space in my childhood. Like, I never quite got into He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and stuff like that. Like, it was just kind of like a little bit too late for me, or a little bit. I was born a little bit too late for that. Yeah. And like G.I. Joe, same thing. Like, I was just a little bit too late for G.I. Joe. But also, I guess maybe I just like goofier, cartoonier shit too, though.
Yeah, not as serious. Oh man, speaking of serious, Captain Planet.
Oh well, Captain Planet's so fresh, man. What a dope message.
I was just like, wow, they really hammered messages in that show.
I definitely, Captain Planet definitely molded my thoughts on like what we're doing to the planet. That's for sure, man. It was definitely one of the first places I got that messaging in any form of entertainment or society. even. That, and there's like this recycling special that was on HBO or some shit that I saw a million times when I was a kid. But yeah, man, like fucking Captain Planet was awesome, man. So there's a lot of dope messages in there.
I watched it. I watched it a lot. I'm surprised I didn't put it for a notable mention, but I did just write that down like right before we got on. So,
thinking of them, we're thinking of them.
Yeah. So I mean,
so my number 3 is definitely more goofier.
Yeah.
I just kind of, and I had to generalize once again because my whole list would just be clogged up with the shit. I had to just say Nicktoons in general, but I mean a very specific genre and time period. I mean like the Ren and Stimpy, the Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh yeah.
And Doug basically are my 3 favorites. I really like Doug a lot, man. Doug was like my shit.
Same here, Quail Man.
Yeah,
Hell
man.
Yeah.
Just so relatable. Just such a relatable show, I felt like.
Patty Mayonnaise.
Yeah, Patty and Roger. Oh, Roger. What a heel. What a heel that Roger. But yeah, man, Ren and Stimpy, obviously, that absurdist humor I really dug. And Rocco's kind of in a similar vein, but sort of more
like almost
wacky.
Adult Swim before it was Adult Swim. Like Rocco going through the nude beach and he'd have like the censor bar over him.
Oh yeah, they were doing some. I mean, there's tons of Ren and Stimpy stuff that's just wildly like, how the hell is this on? How did they even get this past people? Like it's just mind blowing.
Well, I kind of conflate Ren and Stimpy Nicktoons with Ren and Stimpy on what was it, TNT?
Oh right, the Redux or whatever they called it at the time. Yeah, I only saw the first episode of that. I never even saw anything. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw anything after that first episode. Not that I didn't like it. It was just like I just don't think I had that much of an interest in it.
Right. Kind of grew out of it or something.
No, I definitely still like Ren and Stimpy. I don't know. I feel like the tone was off, or maybe because I don't know. I think the fact that they had to be a little bit like
edgier,
held back by the fact they were on a kid's cartoon channel.
Yeah.
Like they were able to squeeze in that edgy shit, and it just seemed like more subversive. Whereas if they're just let off the leash to just be as crazy as they want,
in your face,
it's just not. It's not the same thing, really.
I hear you. Yeah, Doug was my jam too. So was Rocco, and I remember my brother never really got into Rocco. He was more like a Rugrats.
Rugrats was the shit too, though.
Yeah,
I should mention Rugrats as well because I like that show a lot. Up until they started introducing mad new characters, and then they got all grown up, and they did that all. I never watched any of that kind of stuff.
Chucky's stepsister and stuff.
Yeah, that's when it kind of it lost me.
Yeah. So my second pick was
we're getting down there.
Centurions.
This is the one you mentioned in the chat that I was like, I have no idea what that is.
So it was a spin-off of G.I. Joe.
Right, okay.
And it was basically it revolved around these 3 main characters. And they kind of reminded me of like the grown-up 3 Ninjas.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I remember 3 Ninjas.
Because so like Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum, it was red, blue, or green, blue, and yellow. And the Centurions, now it doesn't even really make sense now that I think about it. The Centurions were green, blue, and red.
What were they on G.I. Joe? Like, how did that spin off?
So G.I. Joe, it was the Centurions were like cyborg type G.I. Joes.
Okay.
They weren't complete cyborg, but they had like these crazy suits that had connector type, like Lego type looking connection devices. And they'd be like out in the field and they're like, I need this kind of a weapon or whatever. I need to fly or something like that. And then the home station would be like, we're right on it. And they'd hook them up and a beam would come down and like they'd be connected with like a jetpack or something like that would like connect to their whole body.
Huh.
And then they could fly around, catch the bad guy, or like they'd kind of turn into like a motorcycle type thing. It wouldn't be like they wouldn't be motorcycles, but they would have like accessories attached to their suits.
So lots of ways for them to sell toys.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a lot of transhumanism type subconscious type predictive programming going on. But like Captain Planet, G.I. Joe's at the end, they had like little messages.
Yeah, I do remember that.
One thing that really sticks out, like a thunderstorm started happening and there were kids playing in the pool. And the G.I. Joes were like, you guys got to get out of the pool now. Like, you don't want to get electrocuted.
That's funny.
It was I can't find it anywhere. Although there's a YouTube channel that has G.I. Joe's playing 24/7, kind of like the lo-fi beats that just play 24/7.
Yeah.
So I check that channel out every now and then, but
the Centurions one you can't find anywhere.
Oh.
Huh. They never did a proper release of it, or
I might be able to find like a DVD or something like that.
But... Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say anything G.I. Joe, I would think they would be trying to release anything they could.
All right. But yeah, I can't really find it. I was looking on. I have Hulu and Amazon Prime and Netflix, and none of those carry it, and I can only find like the theme song and stuff on YouTube.
So they must be a little litigious with it then. So it must be they're doing something with it if they're pulling stuff off of YouTube that heavy. Because YouTube used to be just insane. You could find anything on YouTube. So once they start pulling stuff off, but anyway. So my number 2 was The Simpsons, which isn't necessarily a kid's cartoon, but I was introduced to it when I was very young, and it definitely informed me like a lot. And man, The Simpsons was another one of those ones that, because I didn't have Fox, I couldn't catch The Simpsons as easy as everybody else.
Yeah.
So once they started doing what basically happened is Simpsons became so big and they started to what's the word for it? Syndicate. They started to syndicate, and it was on a couple of the local channels, at like 6 o'clock at night and stuff. They'd do like a block of 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I started catching my Simpsons that way. And I grew up so poor that I was watching these Simpsons episodes on the secondary TV, which was a black and white TV. So I was watching.
Oh, snap!
I was watching yellow. I wasn't watching yellow Simpsons. My version of Simpsons, my memories of early Simpsons episodes are in black and white, which is really weird. But
was it like one of the dial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the, if you touch the wrong part of the back, you're totally going to electrocute yourself.
Yeah.
Very, very old, shitty TV. And once again, this is before we didn't have cable. We didn't have a lot of money either. So that's why we were rocking the fucking black and white TV and shit. But that wasn't our main TV. We did have a nice big wooden type bitch color TV that probably my grandmother gave us. Oh yeah. Stub your toe on it. Oh boy.
Take up a quarter of the living room.
Yeah, one of those type bitches. And I do believe that once that broke, we were the type of white trash that put the new TV on top of the old TV. Just let that rock for a while. What's up, Kitty? I see you back there. All right, we're drum rolling it down to the first one.
So my number one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, we already spoiled it.
Yeah. Definitely it was probably all right, Kitty. I know.
I got one right next to me as well, so I get it.
I'm allergic to them, but
oh shit! So it's a problem. This is a problem right now.
It's all right. I keep them out of my bedroom. That's the best I can do. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. Bebop. See, I wanted to have these character names down. Rocksteady, Bebop. Yeah. Yep. And then those kids from the future with the crazy ass hair.
Oh yeah.
And they were in the hover car.
Yeah, man. I remember that shit. That's where the idea of like other dimensions first.
Yeah, they came from
into my brain
X or something.
Literally, yeah, Dimension X or something like that. Yeah, that's literally, I think, where the idea of another dimension was introduced to me, was that cartoon specifically.
Probably me too.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite turtle, though, while we're talking about turtles? Because I got one who's Donatello's always been my favorite turtle ever since forever. I've always rocked with Donatello. Always rocked the purple. I've always, Donatello's always been my dude. I always appreciated Donatello because he was the smarter one. Right. He was more low key. He's kind of more laid back in the cut than all the other turtles. I always really liked that about Donatello.
See, maybe as a kid, I'd probably just be generic and say Leonardo.
The leader.
But as I got older and goofier, Mikey, but that's a lot of the watching the movies too, like him crunching on the carrot and like just being as annoying as possible.
I think as I got older, probably parts of Raphael, I probably relate a little bit to Raphael more realistically.
Yeah.
With my anger problems and shit like that. So
did you see the was it The Last Ronin or something like that?
Oh, the one. No, I know what you're talking about. I have not read that. I'm fucking very curious about it though.
It looks badass.
Dope fucking concept though. That's a hell of a concept. Props for them for thinking of that, because that's a hell of a concept. For anybody that doesn't know, that's a comic book that Eastman and Lard, or is it just Eastman?
I think it's just Eastman.
I think it's just Eastman. I'm not sure though. But they're doing a comic book set in the future where all the turtles are dead except for one, and there's one turtle that has all the weapons, and you don't know which turtle it is. Reading the comic, but he's avenging their deaths and shit. And it looks fucking dope.
I just have to assume it's Raphael.
Yeah, right. I kind of get the same feeling, man, because he kind of always I don't know, man. There's like, if you watch that first movie, Raphael is kind of like the main character.
Yeah,
he's kind of the protagonist of that movie if you watch it. At least I feel.
He's always very vengeful.
Yeah, very angry, very vengeful. If there's going to be one that's out for vengeance, it makes sense. It would be Raph.
Yeah.
This isn't a spoiler. I don't know for a fact. You don't know either, right?
Yeah, no, me neither. I want to say though that one of the creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like murdered or something.
Oh, well, I think they're both still alive. Really? Eastman and Lard.
All right. Well, man, I don't know where I was getting that idea from.
I hope not, man.
But now there's another follow-up we're going to have to do. We're going to have to look
after we Google everything special.
Yeah.
No, I saw a Ninja Turtles documentary not too long ago, and like a big part of the documentary is like getting them back together in like the same room for like the first time in like 20 years or something. So that was like a really cool doc to watch.
Cool. No, I haven't seen that. Where'd you watch it?
I want to say I torrented it, to be honest with you, but
Right.
it's a couple years old by now, so you might be able to find it on streaming. It might be on like an Amazon Prime or a Hulu. It feels very much like an Amazon Prime or Hulu documentary.
I'll look it up. Wasn't Eastman at the Astronomicon?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't gone to Astro. I'm very curious about it, but it wouldn't surprise me. They have quite the lineup at Astro.
Yeah.
You know what? He was. Yeah, you know, now that you mention it, because Twisted released those. I think the first time they did the turtle logos, was in regards to Eastman being at Astro. I could be wrong with that, but
yeah. And doesn't Twisted have like a cartoon coming out or something?
Yeah, I think based off of their Haunted Highons comic book, I believe is what they said.
I want to make a comic book so bad,
dude. I know they're relatively cheap to print on the indie level too. There's websites out there you can do pretty cheap comic book printing. So
I have a printing. It's like Ninja something or another. It's like a comic book printing. It was relatively cheap. The expensive parts, like trying to, like I can write the story, but I suck at art. So
getting an artist collaborator. Yeah.
Because I mentioned it, and the guy who does a lot of my cover art and stuff, not for this was McNasty.
But shouts out McNasty, man.
But Aaron Lauder, like I mentioned doing a comic book project with him, and it was like thousands of dollars. So
oh yeah, it's a lot of time, man.
It is, yeah.
Like to draw a page, it's like that's a whole day at least,
right?
To draw a page, depending on how complex it is, and then that's just the drawing part of it. You got to take into account inking, and if you want to get coloring, and that's days and days of work, man. I mean, it amazes me that they can even pump out. I mean, the comic industry isn't what it was before COVID, but before COVID, they could pump out comic books every month like they were. Like it amazes me that was a thing.
And sell them for as cheap as they were.
Yeah. Shouts out to man, I used to buy so many comics back in the day, man. You can't afford that shit anymore though, or at least I can't.
Oh, gotta do it all online or something. There's
well, when I do buy comics now, I buy the collected editions because they're more price wise, they make more sense.
Speaking of comics, actually, 1 second.
So, folks, my name is Humble Among. You can find my music on lots of streaming services. Go and stream it. I dropped 4 mixtapes in 8 months.
Before we get into your number one.
Oh, yeah. Before we forget my number one.
So we were talking X-Men, right?
Yeah.
Can you hold on? I gotta turn the screen off.
Doing a little bit of gimmick to that.
How do I do that? Edit? No.
It's a Wolverine comic. I can see that. That's an era that I might have that issue. I got a shitload of Wolverine comics.
Wolverine Deluxe.
That's one of the bitches. They might not have the number printed on the cover.
February 90.
Yeah, I have like a huge Wolverine lot, like talking the Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine all the way into his first original series. Shitloads of them.
This crazy, huge.
Oh, is that fucking Apocalypse?
Yeah.
That's dope.
This one's my buddy's comic actually, because I was writing the comic book story that I want made up, and he's like, "Here, have some inspiration. Read some of these."
What's up?
I got this at Pork Fest. Is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, adventures, yeah. Yeah, Andy's all about those adventures, dude. That's like one of Andy's favorite turtle properties, like, period. I know when we would go to cons, we haven't been to a con in a fucking hot minute, man. But back when we used to go to cons, that would be always one of the shits he would always be looking for in the 50-cent bins.
Yep. It was crazy. This guy had like some precious metal, some brass knuckles, a bunch of comic books, and they're all just sitting out on a table, and he's nowhere to be found. There's like a little jar. It's a fucking honor system.
What?
Yeah.
With precious metals out. That's
Yep.
Trusting individual.
It's Pork
all right,
Fest,
so
man.
let's get to my number one
Yeah.
before I forget. My number one is probably my favorite like cartoon thing of all time, which is Beavis and Butthead.
Oh,
I love Beavis and Butthead to death. I'm very excited that they're bringing Beavis and Butthead back. I don't know if you saw, but there was a Super Bowl commercial for I think
yes.
Paramount Plus.
That was one of my favorite commercials.
Yeah, man. That's the first Beavis and Butthead content in 10 years. That's the first time any new Beavis and Butthead content's been out for 10 years. Shouts out to Sean Beard, Beavis and Butthead collector on Instagram. He's the shit. He's got one of the dopest Beavis and Butthead collections I've ever seen, and he's a very interesting Instagram follow. Highly recommend following him on Instagram.
All right. Well, if I'm not, I need to follow. What's his name again?
Oh, Beavis and Butthead collector on Instagram. He's the shit. He's kind of reignited my passion for Beavis and Butthead a little bit. I've always been a huge Beavis and Butthead mark, but I've been looking at his Instagram and shit and just realizing how much I fucking love those dudes. So they've been at the forefront of my mind a lot lately. So definitely had to make them my number one, especially right now. Also, shout out to King of the Hill, because King of the Hill is a very funny, underrated show. I feel like with all the memes that float around with King of the Hill, that it must be getting its due diligence nowadays. I think people are actually watching it and appreciating it for how fucking brilliant it is, because King of the Hill is a dope show. But both of the shows, Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill, are the same way to me. They're on the surface, they're one thing. They seemingly are just Beavis and Butthead seemingly about these two idiots who are obsessed with destruction and heavy metal. But really, it's a commentary on society and school, high school, and social hierarchy, even. And it's really smart, and it's for what it seems to be on the surface. And King of the Hill is the same thing. Not the same thing, but the same idea. King of the Hill seems like a really sweet, sort of like Southern conservative Christian show almost. But really, there's a lot of fucking crazy shit going on in that show, and it deals with, once again, society and just weird shit. Like just a great show, man. I haven't even seen all of King of the Hill. I'm still working through a watch through. I'm like on season 5 or 6 or something on Hulu. Watching that on Hulu. But God, that Mike Judge is just the shit, man. I just love Mike Judge. Yeah, Beavis and Butthead though, number one. I can't wait for more Beavis and Butthead.
Did he also do Daria?
No, that's a different. Same couple of the same writers that were on Beavis and Butthead and left and went and did Daria.
Okay, was she in Beavis and Butthead, or was
she was in? Okay. She's in early episodes.
Yes,
I think they pull her out once the Daria show premiered, because I think they were running at the same time.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
All right, I used to watch that quite a bit.
Yeah, Daria's a dope show too. Shout out to Daria. I definitely like Daria. I feel like Daria probably doesn't age as well, because there's so many like I haven't seen it in a long time, but I feel like if you were to watch it now, it would be like so many 90s references that would be a little bit like I don't know. Beavis and Butthead ages tremendously well though.
They re-released Daria on like this gay and lesbian channel. I forget what logo.
Oh, word. A new
Um,
version or the old episodes?
I think it was the old episodes. I'm not 100% positive, but it was like I've watched 2 shows on that, and it was Daria and Bob or something like that. They were like little Lego guys.
Huh.
It was super stupid. Like, I don't know, but kind of reminded me of like Moral Oral or something. But yeah, Beavis and Butthead. I remember my uncle giving me the soundtrack for Beavis and Butthead Does America.
Yeah.
And like the Butthole Surfers and Red Hot Chili Peppers Love Roller Coaster. And
yeah, that dope ass Rob Zombie song.
Yeah, that soundtrack was. I played that soundtrack all the time.
That's a cool movie, man. I love that movie.
Not happy my uncle gave that to me.
And shouts out to my dad for being so cool and let me watch Beavis and Butthead at my age, because I was like, fucking what, 7, 8, 9, watching that shit.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, it must have been about that age range. And so, there's some risque shit, and there was a lot of controversy around Beavis and Butthead around that time. So, shouts out for him to see how it was a funny show, because my dad's got a good sense of humor, so he would always kind of see through the bullshit and know. Because Simpsons was the same thing.
Yeah.
Simpsons, growing, especially down south, there was definitely a lot of anti-Simpsons stuff going on. Because of the
Bible Belt, or
I don't know what it was, but I just remember I grew up in South Carolina, so I just remember there was a lot of like, oh, you guys can't watch that show, like type of stuff floating around, and like be like, why? What's wrong? Because like if you watch The Simpsons now, it seems ridiculous because they go to church.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're like a regular ass, I don't know, Christian Catholic family. Like,
Ned
I don't know, it doesn't even make sense.
I remember being super little and going to like the barber and asking for them to cut my hair like Bart Simpson when I had hair.
How did that work out?
All right.
He actually went for it with the spikes and everything.
Yeah,
tried to do it.
It was like a white man's kid and play type.
Oh, a flat top. He kind of went flat top with it.
Yeah. But yeah, good memories.
Yeah, man. I miss them days. I'm too old. I'm old as fuck.
Yeah. I'm like,
but you know what? Still got the spirit of a kid in me. So on that Peter Pan type of vibe. It's been a good show, man. I've had fun talking about shit.
Oh yeah, me too. Got to do this again.
Yeah,
and if you want to have me jump on anything or talk about anything,
I got to figure out a format or something. I think I'm just gonna go live and just talk shit and like send links to people and like see if people want to join me, they can join me and we'll just talk. And if no one joins me, because my original plan is I wanted to fucking go live like really late at night.
Yeah.
But the problem is everyone's fucked, because I was like, oh man, I'll get people who are up and like maybe they're a little loose-lipped because they've been drinking or something, and they'll want to talk and we can really have interesting conversations. But then I realized, oh fuck, man, like when I'm trying to go live, like they're all fucked up and going to sleep and shit. So it didn't really work out, and I just ended up talking to myself while I sent links to people. So I got to go earlier. I got to go live earlier in the evening.
What time were you going? Because
I went live at like 1:30.
Okay, yeah.
I was really going crazy with the concept. I'm like, I'm gonna go like 2 in the morning. I wanted to go at witching hour. I wanted to go at 3 a.m. But
damn.
It's like nobody's gonna tune in for that shit.
I mean, I'm game between like 10 and midnight, and then whenever it goes on till it goes on till. But I could probably, like, if you send me a link in between those times, I could probably jump on, and I'd probably be a little tipsy and loose lip.
That's what I want, though. I want some people that I don't drink anymore, by the way.
Okay.
So I'm sober minded. But I do like. I mean, I don't mind being around drunk people. I find drunk people, inebriated people, I should say, extremely fascinating. I love it. One of my so I got sober over the summer, basically, and very shortly after, I went to Young Breeze and David Fair had a joint birthday party there, and obviously motherfuckers are drinking like crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like I'm like the only person there not drinking, I think. Like literally the only person there not drinking. So I'm like sober as a fucking judge, watching all this drunken party nonsense going on. And Raw Def is hanging with me, and Raw Def just keeps occasionally looking at me and being like, "What are you doing? Like, are you like?" I'm like, I love this, man. This is great. This is like my shit." He's like, "I don't understand you. You're just loving this right now." I'm like, "Yeah, man, this is dope. I love this shit." So, I especially, I feel like people, you get some real shit out of people sometimes
Yeah.
when they're drunk. You get some raw shit, some raw emotion. So I like that. But you don't have to be drunk. You can be sober, and we don't have to make it about getting fucked up.
Whatever happens.
I think it's more fun to just catch people in the moment. That's kind of like the idea of it. Like just send a link, because with this StreamYards thing, it's dope that you can just send a link, and if you got a cell phone, you can jump on.
Right.
You click the link, you know what I mean? So that's dope to me.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm definitely down to jump on at any time. So
I'm gonna try to do something this week. I think I'm gonna try to figure something out. I might do it Friday.
All right, word.
I don't think I got anything going on this Friday, so I think I'm gonna try that.
Tomorrow I'm supposed to record, so Friday's good.
All right, bro. Well, I will definitely send you a link if I do that. That's for sure. I'm gonna try to send a bunch of people links.
Where you can have like a bunch of it'll be like the hell's that called when you bring in the like a drunk person and have like
intervention.
Yeah.
Do a digital intervention. No, it won't be that serious. Hopefully it won't have to get that serious.
Yeah. So I appreciate it, and I'll be posting this on YouTube and.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it too, man. Thanks for having me. Like I said, I like talking shit. If anyone watching this needs someone to come on and talk shit, hit me up. I love talking shit, especially if it's Juggalo or horror movie or any kind of that kind of related shit. That's my bad.
We could do like a ICP album. About that.
I can do that all day, dude. I can do that all day. I don't have anyone to talk Juggalo shit with in my life, so I'm just constantly assaulting the people who are in my life with random ICP facts all the fucking time, and it must get exhausting. At least, probably to my wife, it's very exhausting. But I can only speculate that.
Well, I kind of fell off after Hell's Pit, so.
You're missing out on all kinds of fun shit, dude.
I mean, the latest CD I have is Boom Bang Pow.
Have you heard Fearless Fred Fury?
I have, yeah. I listened to that on Spotify.
There's a lot of good jams on that. I mean, their shit's hit or miss, and ICP is a very specific taste in the first place. So like, I mean, I get that people don't like their shit, so it's like it's no skin off my back or whatever. You know what I mean? Because like,
around Hell's Pit is when, or a little bit earlier, I got into like Swollen Members and Jedi Mind Tricks, and once I started going down that route, however you say it, I kind of left ICP behind. Not completely, but.
And I have a similar situation with that, because basically once the Wraith came out and they did the whole the Carnival is God thing, I wasn't fucking with that. I did not like that. So I kind of was, and at that point I was already kind of stepping away a little bit anyway. So I didn't fuck with ICP for a good 10, 15 years there. I wasn't listening to anything. But I went to a show, what was it, 2018, 2017? Must have been 2018. I went to a show, first ever ICP show. I had never gone before. And something just clicked in my brain, dude, and it all came back. It was like I was fucking 14-year-old me again. And it's just like, just flooded my memory banks of all, similar to having like these conversations about these cartoons.
Yep.
Just flooded my memory banks of all these memories, and I started listening to the shit again. And then before you know it, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gathering. And then I went to the fucking gathering. And then after the gathering, it was over. It was like cemented. By the time I was leaving the gathering, I'm like, well, I guess I'm a fucking juggalo again. Reluctantly as I want to admit it. But it's dope, man. I mean, I love the shit. There's nothing in life that gives me as much pure happiness as watching these two goofy fucking clowns just do shit. And whether that's rap or them doing their streaming thing or just watching an old interview, they make me happy. I can't even explain it, dude. They just make me very happy.
Did you get their October streaming?
Yeah, I've gotten them. I've gotten all the streaming. I'm staying on top of that. They're doing one tonight, actually.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching that shit.
So you saw the JCW thing in Jay's house?
Yeah, that was fresh, dude. It was so fucking dope. Part of it was so funny is Jay's just selling the fact that his whole house is getting destroyed with like really over the top Joey Styles fake anger. Just fucking funny, man. Just so funny. The other JCW show I only kind of halfway watched. I think I was like putting out a fire on my phone. Like I had a fucking text situation going on and I couldn't fully pay attention. I don't even remember what it was. It doesn't even matter anyway. But I couldn't pay attention. I got to go back and rewatch that one too, though, because part of those JCW shows that's so funny is their commentary, because they're doing the commentary for all the matches, and it's just they're just so fucking funny to me, man. I can't get enough of the shit. And once again, I get that motherfuckers don't like them. Like, I didn't like them. I didn't like them for a very long time, but you know, I can't explain it. It fucking invaded my brain.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was definitely hardcore there for a while. It's kind of
you grow old, you get older, you mature. I mean, you're talking about you wanted more serious music, and especially with the music you're doing nowadays, your music is a lot more serious. You know, like you talk about some serious shit. Oh yeah, well, not toys necessarily, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you talk about some political shit that's just over my fucking head. I don't even know what you're talking about with some of the stuff that you're coming with.
References, yeah. That's why, like, we put out Devil May Care too, and that was like the demigods, Army of the Pharaohs type Jedi mind tricks, hardcore shit.
The hardcore political shit.
Yeah, and hopefully with the Stir Crazy Jinx Inc. Stir Crazy album, it's a little more, upbeat, cartoony. So
that's the vibe you're going for with that?
Yeah. I got this whole art, like, hero's journey for the album. It's like, we are struggling, trying to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps. We make it famous. Then we put all our money into research and development for time travel. and we end up going back in time and getting intimate with some crazy ancient Amazonian women. And then we go to hell. It's a crazy overarching theme, but that's what the whole comic book that I'm trying to write is all about.
That would go with that.
Yeah.
I see. And
I got Todd McLaren, who he's a narrator for audiobooks for like Conan the Barbarian. He narrated Altered Carbon and shit.
Oh, okay.
And he's narrating like the skits or the interludes for our song. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
Yeah. I just want to find like an artist who will be down to like split the royalties or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of music. A lot of investment goes into this music making thing. That's for sure. Yeah, it'd be nice to turn a profit one of these days.
Right.
That's what I keep saying.
So before you bounce, do you have anything coming out soon?
Nothing that I really want to announce yet.
Okay.
But I dropped 4 projects in the last 8 months. Fear of a Whack Planet, Halloween Tape 3, Xmas Tape 2, Valentine Tape. Go stream them on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, YouTube, Google Play, whatever you like to listen to music on. Or you can buy CDs from me, humbleamong.com. Buy my CDs. Give me money.
There you go.
I think that's a good enough pitch, right?
Yeah, word. Sounds great, man. Thank you.
Yep, no problem, man. Have a good night.
You too. Peace.